everybody. It's Scribe. Welcome to the podcast. It's been a while since I did one. I wanted to wait until after the elections to see how the Florida legislature came out. So today's podcast is going to be on the Florida House of Representatives. Give you a little bit of information about it, who the leadership is, and a little bit about the different committees that they have. The election was a good one for the Republicans, not so good for the Democrats. The Republicans gained 5 seats. They went from 73 to 78. The Democrats lost 5. They went from 47 to 43. So they expanded their power base even more. So we'll see how that works out, and we'll see what happens. The new Speaker of the House is Speaker Chris Sprowls. He is a Republican from Palm Harbor, and every 2 years, Florida, the House of Representatives, they nominate and they vote on a new Speaker of the House, and Speaker Sprowls is it. And also each time, the Speaker gets to make up some new rules. Things that he wants to do differently. They put their fingerprint on the legislative session and things that are important to them. This year, Speaker Sprowls has made a couple of rule changes that are very interesting. The first one is going to allow each representative to have one more bill. So in the past, each representative could have 6 bills. Now they get to have 7, so that should be interesting. He is also wanting to do away with the frivolous debates, frivolous amendments onto bills. From other things that I see that he's wanting to do, he's wanting to speed up the process. He wants to get more bills heard, because as we know, as we've talked to you in the past, every year there are hundreds and hundreds of bills put forward, but very, very few actually make it to the House floor, actually make it into law. So he's really working hard on trying to speed that up. It'll help end a lot of the debate that sometimes is over minutia. So look forward to that. The amendment process, which he's wanting to end, can be summed up in a way that a good friend of mine that was in the Florida Senate, he told me about. He said, Darren, think of it as a bill is like a nice dish of vanilla ice cream. So this representative, he puts out this bill, and it's a nice heaping bowl of vanilla ice cream. Everybody likes, so he puts that forward. So another representative has a good idea, and he says, hey, let's add some hot fudge to that vanilla ice cream. So he does an amendment, and it changes the bill a little bit, and it makes it a little bit better. So another representative has an idea. They think that they can make this bill a little bit better, so they put forward an amendment that adds nuts, cherries, and whipped cream to it. So right now, now it's looking like a really good bill. It's got a nice vanilla hot fudge sundae with whipped cream, nuts, and a cherry on top. But then you have a representative who does not like the bill, does not want to see it pass, and really doesn't think they have the power to strike it. So he puts forward an amendment that basically is a bad amendment that pours dirt on the ice cream sundae. And if the people in favor of the amendment are not able to get enough votes to take that amendment away, the bill becomes a horrible bill. Nobody wants an ice cream sundae with dirt on it. And so then that bill dies. And that's a very simplistic way of how frivolous amendments can kill a bill. And Speaker Sprowls has also tasked the Rules Committee to set procedures and rules that will help outline the proposals to get bills to the House floor, allocate time for questions and debate so that the things aren't running for a long, long time on each question. giving everybody a fair shot, but not letting the time get wasted. Speaker Sprouse has also changed the rules to allow subcommittees to meet all the way through and including the 6th week of the 9th week session. In the past, the subcommittees stopped after the 3rd week. And all of us at ABATE are very familiar with this because in our legislative Tallahassee rally, we would go up there. Most of the time, committees have already met. Our bill was either dead or made it through, and we kind of went up there and we didn't have much to do. So I'm grateful that Speaker Sprouse has increased the number of weeks that the subcommittees will meet. This again is a way for him to get more bills heard, more bills pushed through the system. I've always believed, ABATE has always believed that every bill deserves a shot to be heard. Not every bill is a good bill, but they still all deserve a chance to be heard. So we look forward to doing that. Speaker Sprouse has changed the schedules for bill drafting and bill filing. Under his schedule, January 19th is the deadline to submit the representative's first 2 bills for drafting, and January 29th is the deadline for the rest of the bill. So it gives the legislators a little bit more time to get their bills in and work on them and get them into bill drafting. In another podcast I'm going to have coming up soon, I'm going to detail the process that a bill goes to become a law, and it's a treacherous road. For those of us who remember the old Schoolhouse Rock, I'm only a bill stuck on Capitol Hill. It's pretty difficult. It's a pretty long journey for a bill to go through, and they have a lot of dangerous paths that a bill has to go to. So it is very interesting. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in another podcast. Speaker Sprouse has named his leadership team. He has announced the chairs for all of the standing committees. So far, the subcommittees chairs have not been named, so we're looking forward to that, and I'll get that out to you as soon as they are. But his Speaker pro tem is Miami Springs Republican Brian Avila. His majority leader is Port Charlotte's own Michael Grant. Panama City Republican Jay Trumbull is the chair of the Budget Writing Appropriations Committee. Ormond Beach Republican Tom Leake will chair 2 committees. The first one is the brand new Pandemic and Public Emergencies Committee, and then the second one is the Redistricting Committee. The brand new Pandemics and Public Emergencies Committee has been created to deal with issues, obviously, such as COVID-19, and it'll also stick around to deal with any other health emergencies, issues that will happen to the state of Florida in the future, and how we can best deal with them. The Redistricting Committee, as you know, every 10 years there's a census, and after that census, we find out the population of Florida. We get to redraw the districts, and that'll change how many representatives there are. That'll change what districts. It'll be very controversial, and it'll be a big battle, and I bet you there will be lawsuits. So let's watch that fight. Speaker Sprouse has also newly named and expanded the Education and Employment Committee, which will be chaired by Clearwater Republican Chris Latvala. The Education and Employment Committee has been expanded to add both the separate elementary and secondary education, as also pairing them with early learning and career development, respectively. So as we've seen this a lot lately, where there's more and more emphasis on trade schools, on vocational training, which is very important. A lot of good careers, a lot of good trades in the VOTEC positioning. Speaker Sprouse also expanded what has been the Public Integrity and Ethics Committee into the Public Integrity and Elections Committee, and that's going to be led by Vero Beach Representative Aaron Grail, Palm Coast Republican Paul Renner, who is in line to succeed Speaker Sprowls as the Speaker on November 2022, was named the Rules Committee Chair. Spring Hill Republican Blaze Ngolia will chair the Commerce Committee. Lakeland Republican Colleen Burton will chair the Health and Human Services Committee. Miami Republican Daniel Perez will take over the Judiciary Committee. Mankato Republican Ralph Maslow will serve as the State Affairs Committee Chair. And Palatka's Republican Bobby Payne will be the Ways and Means Committee. So we're looking forward to seeing how these committees go and how we get going. As soon as we find out the subcommittee chairs, there's one, the Transportation and Tourism Committee, that we've always had a little bit of tough time getting our bill heard. We're really looking forward to seeing who is going to be the chairman of that committee. It's either going to be good news or it's going to be bad news for us, but we won't know, so we'll look forward to that. In my last podcast, I had the trivia question of who will be the new Speaker of the House. And I am proud to announce that we did have a winner. It was Roy Standard. Roy, you are a ninja of knowledge, and you show everybody that knowledge is power. So thank you very much. The trivia question for this podcast is a two-part one. So it'll be the first one to answer it. Remember, put the guess down in a comment down below. Do not text me, do not call me, do not email me. It has to be in the comments below. And while you're down there in the comments, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. We are sitting at, I believe it's 108 subscribers. So please do me a favor, do ABATE of Florida a favor, and subscribe to Scribe. It's the best way you can help this channel reach many, many more people and get ABATE of Florida's name out, and to help with our mission to educate the public about motorcycles and to educate motorcyclists about how they can best fight for their rights within the legal and legislative system. So back to the trivia question. Two parts. You have to get both questions right. The first one is, who is the current Senate president? And the second part, I talked a little bit earlier about the representatives now get 7 bills that they can propose. How many bills does a state senator get? So who is the current Senate president? And how many bills does each state senator get to file? Again, put that forward. Give me a big thumbs up, like, subscribe to Scribe, and I will see you later. Bye.